was faster and faster.
Hello everyone and welcome back to With Antone MotoGP. Everybody says that 2027 is going to reset MotoGP with brand new engines, less aerodynamics and a brand new tyre supplier. And everybody's asking the same question. Who will build the best bike? I think, really they're asking the wrong question because every manufacturer already knows how to build a very fast MotoGP bike. The real question for me is, what should they refuse to change? Because I don't think teams that win MotoGP's next era will be the ones that change the most. They will be the teams that understand what already makes them successful and evolve on that success. Because every champion has an identity. No manufacturer became a world champion simply by just copying somebody else. Every manufacturer has their own DNA, their own particular way of building a bike and one that works for them. Honda, Yamaha and Ducati, they've all dominated in different eras. Each built success around their own strengths. Winning in MotoGP isn't about having the best philosophy, it's about having the philosophy that best fits the era that you are in. Everybody on the same page, going in the same direction. Now look, the smart engineers for 2027 will interpret the rules. The regulations are not going to decide who wins in 2027. The engineers will. Now look, everybody has the same set of rules. They have the same tyres, the same engine capacity, the same aero. The advantages will come from how the engineers interpret the regulations. Great engineers, they see opportunities that others don't. Look at Ducati and Gigi Dall'Igna, the first to interpret the aero in the way he did. Now, Honda may interpret engines and chassis better, but Yamaha may find performance through balance and rider feel. And some bikes are just going to click with those Pirellis and actually make them fast. The regulations are equal, but the innovation around those rules is not equal. Okay, MotoGP has changed. Ducati didn't suddenly just become smarter overnight. MotoGP changed. Aero rewarded rapid development. Software and data became critical, and faster decision making became an advantage. Ducati's development model suited this era. Now, Ducati's biggest innovation, it wasn't just wings that Ducati brought to the paddock, it was the organisation behind how they developed the bike. Look, Gigi Dall'Igna changed how Ducati worked. He changed their workflow between the front, the factory and the pit lane. It brought about faster engineering decisions. Engineers that were leading the development with rapid iteration and constant evolution. The bike became the result. It was the quickest on the grid. So Aprilia shouldn't lose what made it competitive. Aprilia has succeeded simply by thinking differently. Look, as the smallest manufacturer, they have been often the most agile, willing to experiment and challenge the convention on what's on the grid. Less bureaucracy has meant fast innovation. The challenge for 2027 is keeping and maintaining that agility as the expectations around the championship grow. Don't become a mini Ducati, don't change your work process, keep being Aprilia. Because sometimes the advantage isn't having the biggest budget, it's having the freedom to think differently. And that fits perfectly with what Aprilia have been doing on the grid in 2026. Now, Honda does not need to become Ducati. Honda shouldn't change who it is. It should become a better version of Honda. Look, they've got world-class engineering, manufacturing excellence, huge technical resources, more engineers today than anyone else. but they need to prioritize their development better. And bringing Davide Brivio will help refine that process. Continuing to use Marini's observation this year, Honda's challenge isn't capability, it's evolving its development speed, but keeping its DNA of development in place. Now, across at Yamaha, what's Yamaha's option? Yamaha, for me, shouldn't continue to chase the field. It should build a more complete M1 Yamaha. Look, they have been known for rider feel, precision, balance. They've put the European Development Centre in place. They are going to continue to adopt the hybrid engineering approach. They should evolve this process, not try to imitate what's happening in the European ones. Stay as Yamaha, but keep the evolution continuing. Okay, KTM. I think KTM's biggest challenge isn't technology, it's their identity. Well, look, we've discussed this many times here before on the channel. Look, they've got constant technical changes, different development directions, and they continue to search for solutions. But has KTM established a clear development philosophy? I don't believe they have. The best teams have, and they know exactly who they are. Who is KTM on the MotoGP grid? This is something they've got to work towards. Okay, so what's going to win in the new era in 2027? I don't think 2027 will reward the manufacturer that changes the most. It's going to reward the manufacturer that evolves the smartest. A manufacturer that keeps its identity, refines its weaknesses, lets their engineers do their job and interpret the rules and build on the strengths of your manufacturer, of your motorcycle. But you've got to put the right riders on the bike. You've got to develop a team approach that supports the riders and the technology development. And you need to align the bike development process to the races on the track. So every manufacturer will start 2027 with different strengths. Honda, they shouldn't become Ducati, and Ducati certainly shouldn't become Honda. Yamaha shouldn't stop being Yamaha. The smartest engineers won't simply build a new motorcycle. They're interpreting the rules in a way that suits their own team's identity. Because in MotoGP, winning isn't about changing who you are, it's about knowing what made you successful and making that even better. And of course, keep moving from now, the second part of the season, into 2027. That's the key, building momentum. But I would love to hear what you think about this topic. Should a manufacturer stick to their DNA, or should there be more changes? Why don't you let me know down in the comments and we can have a little chat. And as always on With Antone MotoGP, it's data, not noise. Okay, thanks for watching. Look forward to talking to you again real soon. Okay, bye for now.
Faster and